Gentlemen, what's good? Project Aletheia here. We're going to be talking about Redeemed Zoomer in this video and his Reconquista movement to take back the mainline denominations, in particular the PCUSA one, which is my theological background. As you guys know, I did go to a seminary, or at least you might not know, I did ended up graduating. I worked for PCUSA Church for 5 years, went to a PCUSA seminary, graduated, and shortly after that really felt called not to go into the ministry, not to be involved in the PCUSA for a number of reasons. But this young man, he's got a movement of conservatives that are looking to take it back. My question is, can God use a MRF? And I'll explain what a MRF is. Will God use a MRF to redeem and to bring back revival to a denomination that has kind of crossed over to the dark side? Now, what is a MRF? MRF stands for masculine, exclusionist, radical, feminist. If you are a man in this country, Protestant, and you believe that women should be leaders in churches, you have been radically feminized. And we're led to believe today, because it's more common and more popular to think, yeah, that's okay. But the fact of the matter is, if you do believe in female ordination within the church, you have been radically feminized, and you are excluding you're excluding masculinity, because those are positions that are supposed to be for males and men only. And so you're pushing them aside, and you're making way for the feminist movement. Let's just go ahead and take a listen in to what he says here, and then I'll comment more.
The liberalism in these churches is very top-heavy. Like my denomination, the PCUSA, is majority conservative amongst the laity, but it's just the General Assembly, it's the higher-ups that are very, very progressive. The same with the United Methodist Church. The majority of United Methodist laity are conservative, but liberals are always attracted to positions of power in bureaucracies, so they end up taking the positions of power. But our strategy is to bolster the conservative sections, the conservative minorities of these majority liberal denominations, so that they will stop being the minority and eventually become the majority. This plan is foolproof given the
Okay, it sounds like a great plan. He calls it foolproof. His whole idea is he's gonna bolster the dying congregations and fill them with young conservatives, which sounds like a great idea. He also tells a story in his video later on, and I recommend you go back and watch this. Talks about how he brought revival, him and his wife alone brought some revival to his local church that he goes to. And I understand what he's saying, and I think in the short term this sort of thing can work. But he also says that liberals are drawn to power, and the liberals that are in charge are feminists. In the PCUSA and in most mainline denominations, it's not all of them, they are radical feminists, whether they're men or they're women. They are radical feminists in charge. And the way the PCUSA has it set up is that the PCUSA technically owns all the properties. Okay, so if you revive a dying property, you could do it. You can quadruple the number and bring back the money and so on and so forth. It still doesn't technically belong to you unless you all of a sudden start filing for lawsuits and start spending that money on creating a schism, right? So, but he's totally against leaving the denominations, but he's all about rebuilding them, only so that the liberals at power, the MRFs, the masculine, exclusionist, radical feminists, have more power, have more finance, have more influence at their disposal. I don't know. I've yet to hear an actual logistical game plan that's going to work as to how they're going to deal with these things on the legal logistical side. Because if you think that these liberal feminized human beings, whether they're male or female, they believe that men, in particular masculine men, and in particular conservatives, they believe you're evil. They really do. Do you think they're just going to hand over their power? They have They have control over hundreds of millions into the billions of dollars worth of assets. Do you think that they're just gonna, and you guys are announcing this, like you're openly announcing the Reconquista. You think they're not gonna be ready for you? I mean, I'm willing to bet that in the General Assembly coming up in 2026, I bet they start pushing some stuff to the front of the line. I know that they've been talking about banning conservatives altogether, but you think these people aren't meeting quietly behind your back to figure out how to deal with you? I'm praying for you, man. I love you guys. I think that whatever happens from this movement, God is going to win. It might not be in the way that we think, but I think that God's going to claim some souls, man, for himself on this one. So I'm all in. You got my prayer. You got my support. Peace.